Hello there, welcome again to my YouTube channel. And again, we're visiting my favorite place in London, the British Museum. So we're entering the British Museum right now. And today, follow me as I revisit and tour you in the Egyptian section and then the ancient Sumerian section. So in this part, we're undergoing security checks. Okay, we're finished with the security checks. And we're getting inside the museum now. We're entering the main lobby of the British Museum. By the way, the British Museum is quite large. However, if you've been to the Louvre Museum in France, it's way more larger. And there was this lady that keeps appearing in the shorts. She kept criticizing the British Museum for stuff that was taken from around the world during the conquest of the British. And she is not saying anything about the Louvre Museum in France, wherein it also contains items such as the Mona Lisa, which belongs to the Italian people. Mona Lisa came from Italy, so it seems unfair. And anyway, if these things are returned to the countries where they originally came from, this will not be conserved, I believe, because some of those countries are politically unstable. Like those that happened in Iraq, wherein when Saddam's reign was toppled, the Iraqi National Museum was looted and some of the stuff there were lost. I mean, lost. Either it's in a private collection or it's been destroyed, so it's somehow lost to posterity. So if you're going to visit the Egyptian and the Sumerian collections, you need to go at the back portion of the hall, the Great Hall of the British Museum. This is the Indian collection. Let's skip that for now, since we would like to go to the Sumerian exhibit. So on our way to the Egyptian collection, on the staircase or stairwell leading to the Egyptian collection, we can see here ancient mosaics uncovered from the ancient Greek city of Halicarnassus, present day in Anatolia. Which is also now called Bodrum, Turkey. So it's in Turkey. Oh my, I did not expect this. I should have cut this out. So so that was the part where I went to the members area. So going back, yeah, so we're here at the staircase looking at the ancient mosaics uncovered from Halicarnassus in ancient Greece, now present day Turkey. So just imagine that this, well, when this was uncovered, they need to clean it and preserve it. But just thinking of it, that this area or this mosaics is said to have been made around 353 to 350 BC, before Common Era. So if we calculate that, it's around 2,353 to 350 years. Did I say it correctly? 2,350 to 353 years. So just imagine that. Those people have existed several millennia ago, and these were the things that they have made. They were not even aware or thinking that their artwork will be observed and looked at after all those years. Perhaps they just came and did their jobs. So right now, we are here at the Egyptian collection of the British Museum. So these chairs and some pillows were included, or were one of those things or artifacts discovered in the tomb of the young Pharaoh boy king named Tutankhamun, which was excavated by a British Sir Howard Carter. So those are pillows. So most of the things that were excavated from the tomb of Tutankhamun is in Egypt, including his mummy. But some of those artifacts came from Tutankhamun's tomb. So this is an ancient Egyptian sandal or shoes made of papyrus. And just it's just amazing because this shoes was uncovered from a tomb, and this shoes is around 4,000 years old. So just imagine how it survived. And this is those ancient Egyptian fans used by the ladies in waiting or those beside the high officials, fanning them to cool them and to drive away the insects. So we're passing by the ancient Egyptian mummies. So these mummies were made around the time of Cleopatra. And most of the designs of the sarcophagus in the time of Cleopatra has been influenced already with a hint or a Greek flavor. So what's the difference from a cartouche and those used in the time of Tutankhamun? A cartouche it's like a mosaïque, a paper mache wherein, so it's like the term cartouche. So it's like a mixture of, it's like it has a cardboard like consistency wherein the impression of the person was, or their likeness of the deceased was printed. But sometimes they do augment and make the person or the cartouche look good. So right now we're here at the Sumerian exhibit. So where is Sumeria in the world now? Sumeria is located in modern day Iraq, around those area. It is a composition of city-states. So you might get confused, like someone talked to me at the British Museum. If you're mentioning that Sumeria or Ur is a city-state in ancient Sumeria. So part of this exhibit is excavated from the royal cemetery at the city of Ur. So going back, an Iraqi asked me, if you're saying that Sumeria is, or Ur is in modern day Iraq or Baghdad, around this area, why does some people say that ancient Babylonia or ancient Babylon was also in ancient Iraq? So this is what happened. Ancient Sumeria and ancient Ur, which is a part of Sumeria, precedes ancient Babylon. So before there was a Babylon, a city of Babylon, a city-state to be exact, the city-states of Sumeria existed. So Now let's go to what this exhibit is. So this is an exhibit of a head and a skull. A head is a skull. So this is a skull with a helmet. And why is it crushed? So they discovered this in the excavation done by a combined team of French and British archaeologists in the early 1900s in what is now to be called the Royal Cemetery of Ur. So in the Royal Cemetery of Ur, there are burial pits. So what they do is they dug, you imagine an inverted pyramid. So the important person goes into the bottom part or the top part of the inverted pyramid, and they put their treasures there and some people that will accompany them, so they're sacrificial victims, and they cover them with soil, and then they pound the soil, and then another offering of animal, horses, people, and burial goods will be placed in another layer, pounded, until it covers the entire deep pit that they have excavated. So this second footage is the head of a lady in waiting. Like that soldier with the helmet that was crushed, this young lady in waiting is around 18 to 19 years old, according to the tests that were conducted when doctors examined their teeth. And looking at the headdresses that came with her when she was sacrificed, it seems that she's an important person. So they're not the common people, I think. So they have some importance in their community. So she was sacrificed together with those gold ribbons and coral stones. So yeah, those are gold bling blings. So seems to be well off, and their belief back then is that she's supposed to accompany the queen, which is called Puabi, Queen Puabi. So if you're a queen, and the same now, you would like your buddies that will accompany you to be of your rank. I think so. So this lady might be important in a way. And she might be beautiful too in their community back then. I don't know if they feel coerced or they saw this as a privilege. But yeah, to be blatant, so they were young teenagers, 18, 19, 20, at the prime of their life, accompanying, dying or murdered to accompany an older woman or old woman. Well, she's a queen, so yeah, she accompanied them or her to the other life. So these were gold daggers. So these were not used in real life because gold is brittle. So these were ceremonial daggers. So just thinking about it, how their skulls were crushed because earth was weighed. So this is a rendition of the image of Queen Puabi, and with the headdresses that came with her. I still need to research where the skull of Queen Puabi is. There's no skull there. Yeah, these were just some of the artifacts which were uncovered from the tomb of Queen Puabi. And I've heard that the British Museum has an extensive underground. And the space, since it's not as big as the Louvre Museum in France, some of the stuff can't fit in the display area, so they store some of it in the basement, and they can just interchange and swap the displays. So these are some of the excavations in ancient Sumeria. There was a large lock. And those were ancient stamps. So back then, they write using clay in ancient Sumeria. And these clays were now called tablets. So what happened is they have a slate. They put the wet clay there on the slate so that they can write on it. They carve on it, and then for the seal, so it's a cylindrical object, and they roll it on the wet clay to create those impressions as seal. And after they write the document, they bake it inside the oven. And that's how these writings have survived till today. And how old is ancient Sumeria? If you will wonder. Because as I mentioned, it precedes ancient Babylon. Now, according to estimates, ancient Sumeria existed like 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. To have a grasp of it, Abraham, the founder of the Jewish religion, came from the city of Ur, and Abraham existed around 4,000 years ago, according to calculations. So just imagine that it's around or older than Father Abraham. And Moses existed around 3,500 years ago, which is, Moses in the Bible. Yeah, he existed, according to them, around 3,500 years ago. And some archaeologists or historians postulate or hypothesize that Moses could even be one of the uncles of Tutankhamun. So this So going back to Moses, yes, Moses existed around 3,500 years ago, or the same around the same time Tutankhamen, the boy king pharaoh, was lived. And going back to the royal cemetery of Ur in ancient Sumeria, so this is one of the things excavated there. This is called the ancient or the royal standard of Ur. And I'm just amazed because when I was a kid, I browsed encyclopedias. And when I was a teenager, I browsed Wikipedia and I just saw this in Wikipedia and the encyclopedias, the physical books back then. And I was very intrigued because these were depictions of the life and how the fashion of how people looked back then, their hairstyle, and how this. So I'm just putting my finger there just to give you an idea how big this thing is. Because when I was looking at this through Wikipedia and through the encyclopedias at school back then and at home, it looks quite big because it is a close-up photo. And it turns out it's quite small. And there is this golden calf. It's not really made of pure gold, so it's made of wood, and the wood is wrapped with a generous amount of gold. Gold foil, that's the term, gold foil. And the horns and the other part was told that it's made up shells. So we're just having a quick look on the young man, soldier, same around same age of the lady in waiting, 18 to 19. And there they said that it could be just the weight of the soil which is on top of this dead bodies that could have caused their skull to crush and the helmet to crush. But some said that the ground was really pounded on top of them to accommodate another layer. Now these were the daggers and the arrows and the spears that were buried together with those that young man as entourage of the deceased queen in the afterlife. So these were ancient idols that were discovered. So back then, some houses in ancient Sumeria believed that those idols will protect them from evil. And if you reached this far, thank you for watching. Take care.